Last time on Ope, Legends of Raspia. The new Tauren enforcer convinced our heroes Feaubear Dongodiere and Zan Hazard to aid the waylaid Visari caravan and the Caltarian troop that originally set out to help them in the treacherous dunescape known as the Arid Naughts. En route, Zan Hazard revealed that she found evidence which linked Feaubear to an assault. Will our heroes find and rescue the caravan and Pappy Dongodiere? Will Feaubear convince Zan Hazard of his innocence? Will they even bring that up again this episode? Find out here on Ope, Legends of Raspia.
So, let's do a perception test as you guys walk into the dark cave to rescue the old man Dongodiere.
That's a nice little one.
That's a nice little natural 20.
Wow. And he's doing the happy dance. Look at him. He's dancing around. He's such a happy guy. He's back to his chair now. And we have balanced out miracle with miracle. Disasters and miracles balanced out to just kind of regular old stuff. So as you enter the mouth of this cave, you hear that hissing coming from deeper therein. The sand begins to clear from your eyes as you are no longer facing a hazard. But what you are facing is this little creatures skittering. They're about one stretch long. They stand about maybe half a stretch tall. They are skittering in the shadows, and you notice that you are surrounded, but you almost didn't notice that you were surrounded. Disaster, miracle,
Skittering. Why does it always have to be skittering?
I'm gonna go up to one and I'm gonna try to pet it on the head.
That will be a perception roll. I'm sorry, did you say it was a 15? So you go to pat it on the head and it immediately bites you in the hand. It says, and you look as it's got a sort of jagged beak attached to what looks like a sort of a canine-esque looking strange, very lizard dog, bird, beaky, strange shadow creature. You can't really make it out, but you make out this beak and it makes you out. Wow! It clamps down around your hand. So up in the little heart on your sheet, that is your health. You have just taken 5 cut damage.
Ouch!
And now I gotta say, I understand because I am delicious. So
this may be true. You may be delicious, and you may understand. However, this triggers a CTO as an attack has been performed. Let's do a naked roll. See what order we perform our combat turn order. CTO in.
That's a 14.
Very well. I rolled a 19, so the world will be going first, taking their 2 actions. Then it will be Feaubear, and then it will be Zan Hazard. We rolled a 3. We are looking at the world's turn, in which case we're going to do another perception, shall we? This is going to be adding your PRC to your test result. 13.
I got an 11.
There are 3 of these little skittering, misunderstood, not fully perceived beasts all around you. And each of them is attacking one of you. So this is a defense roll. It is a medley attack, which means either your brawn or your agility or your dexterity can apply. It's unarmed, yeah.
I'm going to use small target to give me 10 extra agility.
Very smart. Feaubear is a Bosberian, rat people who are very agilitous, as he has self-described.
In total, I got 23.
23, very well. Your evasion is a success. You successfully dodge. Zan Hazard, what is your test result?
Can I block?
You can block, yep, as a beak incoming from the shadows lunges forth toward you. You go to put up your dukes, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use Splendid Style, and that gives me a plus 15 dexterity, which is probably good because that gives me a total of 22.
22, wow. Both of you succeed, and as an empty echoes throughout the cave, and a very dissatisfied screech and hiss echoes, your attackers retreat back down into the tunnel.
That's right, you fools.
Come back, Fluffy. I already named you.
Squeek the kid is taking off after him. Didn't wait a beat. He, You guys have resolved your combat turn order. He's staying in his. He's following him all the way down. So if you guys would like to chase them into the darkness, you may. However, currently, your combat turn order has resolved. Everybody take a bit. Survive some shit.
Hold on. Is the before we continue on, is the Taurian Enforcer in there with us?
The Taurian Enforcer is indeed in there with you. I apologize for not describing this. All of the people that you came there with are indeed in the cavern with you. However, you had to leave your Caltaros out front. Okay. The opening to the cavern was not quite big enough to fit their big, beautiful lizard bodies.
Sandy.
I miss Trunk.
You hear echoing distantly.
That's okay. We'll find treats for them. Maybe. Cave treats.
I'm going to chase after Squeek.
Yeah.
He's my best friend. I delicately kissed him on the ear platonically.
I do not want to be in this cave alone with a Taurian. So I chase after them as well.
But I won't be in this cave alone. Says the Taurian as he chases along with you. Let's do a perception test as you guys run into the next cavern down.
3. Got a lot of 3s.
So, you guys come sprinting into this dark cavern, sort of come skidding to a halt, and you look to see a sort of, it looks to be a person, but they're backlit, so you can only see their silhouette. However, you can make out over their fingers, they look like haphazard sort of lizard claws. And at her feet, bound very tightly in a tight situation, you see Old Man Dongodiere. Feaubear! Is that you, boy?
Old man!
Feaubear! Did you wash the dishes before you came here, boy? I'm just kidding. I'm in a panic situation. You gotta come save me.
Save him from the woman who has bugles on her fingers.
There are the 3, which you now see to be dagger tails. El Poro Monotero, lizard chickens. They are about dog size. Their tails sort of on this noodly, muscly tendril. And upon the end of them, just as they are named, they have these sort of kind of spearhead-looking tails. They're referred to as dagger tails. Their official name is Poro Monotero.
They look delicious and also like good pets.
They are not delicious and they are not for eating. They're nasty pets.
Okay, I'd like one.
Echoing through the cave, you hear the figure in the center respond to you as she reaches her hand up, and we go to an open table. You guys can tell from your perception roll that she has intent to plunge that hand down into the Old Man Dongodiere for whatever reason. Really nothing interesting.
I would like to prevent said thing from occurring. How far away am I from her?
You are 15 stretch as you walk into the mouth of this second cavern.
I'd like to go the entire 15 stretch.
That will cost you 15 hustle. Zan Hazard is an open table. What is it you wish to do?
You know what? I'm going to let him save his grandpa, his grandpappy. It seems like a mission that he needs to do. I'm instead going to try and befriend and make a pet out of one of these delicious-looking little chicken lizards. I'm going to hold out one of my biscuits and just be like, hey, these are great.
She holds out a biscuit from a hand still dripping in dagger tail bite blood.
I'll hold out a sandwich with the other one and be like, what's your poison?
That'll be a perception to deal with these animals.
14.
So they are charging towards you. We will see what happens when we get to the world's turn.
Love.
I'm going to use my skill called Pocket Sand,
Shisha.
which is a ranged attack that double staggers a target within 1 stretch.
Okay, very well. Why don't you go ahead and roll those agility bones?
I shall. It's going to be 11.
Success! So, you are able to, just out of your pocket, just like any smart Caltarian knows, there's sand in the desert. Some people from certain desert places do not like sand. But you know how to utilize it. Put it in your little vested pockets. And when you need it, in cases such as this, you are able to, what was it, double stagger?
Double stagger.
That means she's lost both of her actions. This will reinitiate a combat turn order. We'll go back to our previous combat turn order, and this will be at Feaubear.
I guess I have to perceive about my grandfather. See if I can just like, pick him up on his, pull him up to his feet, or what I need to do to like get him up and going.
Alrighty.
Awesome. Toss him to me.
Go ahead and do a perception to check on your grandfather and his binds and the potential of tossing him to Zanhazard.
I got him, even though I got food in my hands.
Nobody tosses a Mossberian.
You see your grandfather laying there bound, very comically, as though like a villain was laying some damsel on a set of railroad tracks, very, very dramatic, overbound, some might say. And you see something wiggling next to him, and you're like, oh no, like there's one of those dagger tails, I'm sure, but it's not a dagger tail. With your successful perception test, you see it's another head.
So he's bound. Would I be able to like scoot him up on his feet, sort of deal?
Still, you might be able to. It would be a brawn test. He's probably heavier than your lift capacity right now. People can lift 50 lifts without straining credulity. Nailed it the first time. Perfect. You know me by now. I didn't nail it the first time.
You said he's over 50 libs?
He is over 50 libs, yes. Bit of a portly muzzle. Cute, fat rat old man.
Told you to lay off the cactus sticks.
The cactus in Caltaria. That was really funny.
Can I look for like if there's like some sort of like dagger or like sharp object that I could like cut the binds with, like nearby?
Perception. Let's find out with your second action before we go to Zanhazard.
13.
Dagger tails have very sharp daggers on their tails. But other than that, you don't see any shards that would be worth trying to cut through that much rope. And all three of those dagger tails are taking off towards Zanhazard with their sandwiches and biscuits, soon offered treats. Speaking of whom, you see that they are 10 stretched from you, making their way toward you. But you have two actions you can perform, one of which can be an attack, the other one cannot.
I'm gonna try to woo one of them. Be like, hi, sweetie. I just want you to be my pet. We're just gonna be friends.
Let's go ahead and do
it. So good.
Let's do a perception roll as you try to entice the creatures from which you still have, as I said, a bleeding butt.
I'm gonna use Tune Senses, which gives me +5, and that gives me a 15.
Goes to the player. I also rolled a 15.
Nice.
Best friends.
I don't always share my roll results, but when I do, it's usually a tie or 20 or a 1. Sometimes when it's just close up. So, you guys, you reach your hand out, and one of them goes to bite you, but the one that got a taste for your blood, as most things do when they get a taste of Hawthorn blood. You ever start a sentence and just... Anyway, so it nips the other one and it's like defensively.
My blood makes people think I'm a mom. Okay, so I don't know where I was going with that either. Point is, now it loves me.
Feel like we arrived right at the promised destination. We can just go ahead and hop off the train. So you have a second action.
Can I pick up the one that's protecting me and like delicately kiss it on the ear?
You do need to get these things out of your hands. So your treats and your sandwiches, well, treat and sandwich are still in one hand each respectively.
I'm gonna just put it down in front of the vicious one in hopes that it gets distracted, meets the sandwich, so that I can then grab the other one and be like, my new best friend, and start running towards the roped man.
Let's do a perception test to see how the angry one reacts to your, hey, ooh, sandwich.
I'm gonna use the Tune Senses again, which is a 7. He don't like it.
He does not like it. It might be the bag. Maybe it's because it's lizard skin. But, definitely does not like it. One of them refuses to attack you. However, 2 of them are not above it. So both of you have incoming defense rolls from 2 different sources. In your case, Zanhazard, you have 2 dagger tails attacking you.
I'm going to use Splendum Style. action block, and that means I got a number.
Oh, that's actually better than what I got because I rolled a 1. So as long as it's not that, it doesn't matter what Miss
I got a 24.
Wow,
The world wants me to have these lizards.
that's way better than a 1. More than 23, more than 1. You guys are witnessing these two things simultaneously attacking. And usually when you have more than one attacker coming at you, it gets real sticky. But not in the case of old Zan Hazard. She puts up her sandwich and biscuit holding arm, or excuse me, her biscuit holding arm, and bam, just catches them both with a mean old elbow. They are both going to be staggered as they yip. And then we go to Feaubear. We dramatically zoom over to Feaubear as he's standing one stretch away from the woman who just double staggered. And her turn ends because she doesn't have any actions. So bad climax there. So we keep going. Rico, it's your turn.
I think I'd be foolish not to attempt a pocket sand one more again, as they say.
Why wouldn't one, as they say? Roll those agility rolls.
That's gonna be 22.
I also rolled a 22. Kid you not? Yeah, and in fact, because it's so funny, I'll tell you that she has 10 E4 going into her bad pie, and I rolled a 12. So
You know
that's
what's funny?
What?
You know what makes it a 22 and not just a regular unnatural 20? Pothos.
Pothos, brought to you by some beans, probably. The drums of war are rolling as the screeches of the lizards echo through the cave, and you attacked the Latriara, or the Lizatriara.
Mm-hmm. Did she call herself a Lizardtriara?
Yes.
Is that
She scratched it into the walls. You saw it on your other perception, but there was a lot.
Yeah, okay. What's going on with this? What's going on with this other head here?
That would be a perception test, my friend. As I'm sure all listeners and viewers are aware, to check your grandfather's second growth of a weird head is definitely a perception test.
18 perception.
18 perception. He grew a new head. Your grandfather grew a new head. It's the same as his other head, and they don't talk in unison, is what you can tell so far.
It's a new head, two head.
It's new head, two head, Grandpa.
Does that mean that down the road you're also gonna grow another head? Is that like a genetic thing?
I'm pretty sure that is genetic.
No, that's not how that works. No.
I might have skipped abbreviations, but I was there for genetics.
All right, as long as you're ready for that. You know, just saying. I want to prepare.
You do a lot of talking with that one head of yours, Bobo.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know who you're talking to because it's pronounced Feaubear.
It's Bobo. Don't listen to him.
You're Feaubear.
We're fighting lizards and Lizatriars. Let's focus here, people. It is now Zan Hazard's turn.
Hi. I will grab my little lizard friend, and then I'm gonna run towards Feaubear, towards the lizard lady.
Alrighty, towards the Lizatriara. That will be 15 out of your hustle pool.
Okay. I look like I'm carrying a football, but it's a spiky lizard with a beak.
A dog-sized football.
My dog-sized football with a beak.
Perception test to see about that football with a beak.
Alright, perception test.
American football.
I'm gonna add the +5 to it, and it's 24.
It is resistant to get into your arms at first, but then it is willing to sort of nuzzle up. Again, it's like it's got its legs hanging down, and it's bigger than like an iguana, so you kind of gotta like oh. But yeah, it like makes these tiny little lizard noises because it's tinier, and it doesn't seem to be hostile toward you. Though I will say you do have a pet, which your pet reminded you.
Well, what if Tronk needs its own pet? All right, like a little beak lizard. I'm bringing him a present.
That would be adorable, and we'll have to see how he reacts when you guys get back to the mouth of the cave, if you get back to the mouth of the cave. So we're going to go to the world's turns. You've used both your actions to stride over to the Latriara and pick up the other lizard.
18.
Alrighty, so the Lazatriara, knowing she has no more actions and no chance against that definitely not overpowered thing we're totally not gonna nerf right after this, move pocket save, pocket save, she is surrendered. It's very clear to you.
Just stop it, no more. Spare me and my dagger tails.
Can I keep this one?
Influence roll. Everybody take a bit as your combat turn order resolves. Squeek the kid begins to bind her, and Feaubear begins to unbind his grandfather. Music gets happier in the background, though it still echoes out the cave walls. And you guys are making your way back out towards your mounts. You make the long ride back to Caltaria.
Can I bring my beak?
Hands out from behind my back now, because I'm not actually bound. Role play.
That is a 17.
No, absolutely not.
And then Squeak the kid's like, I mean, you're not really in a negotiating place right here, and I can tell from the cute little lizard dishes over there that you've been feeding them, so it would be unright of us to leave them here unsupervised and untaken care of. Do you have like a weird football beak muzzle thing for the mean one, or no? All right, I'll carry that one. So, as you guys whip your Caltaro and make your way south back to Caltaria, for which they are named, you successfully have recovered your two-headed grandfather, but you have not seen any of the Torians. Cordera, the bartender. Your grandfather is beside himself in exasperation and all of that.
Is that a two-headed pun?
It is now. So cool. We'll say each of you has two actions as you ride south, and we are going to be queuing up that closing credits music as you guys see the sun begin to rise in the east, having been out all night long.
So I noticed you've got another head there, Pappy.
I got a better side myself. Oh, it's so hard to make that joke.
Yep, we just did.
I'm also not on the ball like I used to be. Yes, no, this one here takes half my brain power. That's just what he says. He's actually that stupid. Shut up, no, I'm not. And he's arguing with himself. It's very, old man.
That seems like it's going to be a good time for you there, Phobo.
Sure, I'm less concerned about the interdynamics between heads and more concerned about how the fuck did this happen?
What? What do you mean, how did this happen? Influence roll.
8.
Now, Feaubear, there's things in this world that I'm protecting you from that I was hoping you have to learn so quick.
I already know about sex.
Oh, that's going to save a lot of time. Well, then I'll just tell you, Tulanite is this rock, and it grows blue, and it makes mutations happen to you. Bad mutations, like growing this malevolent folk. You're a malevolent folk. It's going to be a loud night in the Dongodiere residence. And you have two actions, Zanny. Let's go ahead and close up this episode with your final two actions before our last episode.
Excuse me. I'm gonna show my adorable little beaky lizard to Tronk and be like, "Hey, look at this little cutie. You wanna raise him?"
Perception test. Let's see how your Tronk.
I'm gonna use 2 senses on this. So that is a 16.
So despite my thinking that Tronk wasn't going to be into this, Tronk is miraculously into this. He's got a little wrinkle right there where his mohawk comes up and it meets his like neck flaps, and the little dagger tail is perfectly flappity pouncing. And like, they're cold-blooded, so like, they're not exactly helping each other out, but it's super adorable, and that's for us. And with that, we bring our episode to a close. Feaubear Dongodiere, Zan Hazard, and Squeek the Kid arrive in Caltaria safely as the sun comes up. Feaubear realizes that his shift starts to be a child. I have been Han Blackheart, GM you adore to abhor. This is Rico Tahi. Hello! This has been Xanthi Blackheart. Xanthi, would you like to plug anything whilst you are here and have a soapbox on which to do so?
BardFox.com. It's pretty great.
BardFox.com!
Yay! Jazz hands.
Thank you for listening. We appreciate it, and we will catch you next time on Legends of Raspia!
Legends of Raspia is brought to you by BardFox. Olor and the game Legends of Raspia is created and produced by Han Blackheart and Rick Tahi. Story, music, and sound effects by Han Blackheart. Video and audio editing by Rick Tahi. Visual art created by Xanthi Blackheart. Check out BardFox's Instagram and bardfox.com for our weekly releases of Raspia music, this show, and much more to come. Thanks for listening, and as always, good luck back there on Earth.